That's full time in reserve grade. University 1, Stingrays 0, thanks to a first half goal from Juliet Chu.
I need to mute. I'm going to go press the mute. Still in more.
Welcome to Sydney University football ground for today's clash between Sydney University and the Illawarra Stingrays. Starting lineups for today for Sydney University. In goals, number 1, Hannah Callahan. Number 4, Talia Sandler. Number 5, Olivia and Captain Purdy. Number 6, Julia Harris. Number 8, Madison Van Dyke. Number 9, Poppy Tay. Number 16, Ryan Savalas. Number 20, Ellen Hughes. Number 24, Zanthi Zhurt. Number 28, Isabella Rad. And number 39, Asher Sutton. University coached by Zadie Taylor, managed by Lisa Purdy and Patricia Savalas. On the bench today, for Uni, number 3, Alice Thompson. Number 17, Natalie Brewster. Number 19, Noor Hijazi. Number 25, Elizabeth Berry. Number 33, Claudia Pickett. Number 37, Sienna Barron. And 41, Edie Fisher. Lineup today for the Illawarra Stingrays. Number 1, Tiara Roche. Number 6, Jason Winnan. Number 7, and captain Chloe Middleton. Number 8, Ella Giles. Number 10, Aileen Williams. Number 12, Rudy Egan Brown. Number 17, Adelaide Thompson. Number 19, Annalise Grove. Number 20, Lana L40. Number 30, Lucy Baggio, and number 34, Brooklyn Hudson. Looking for a good match today. Enjoy.
Sydney University, their famous blue and gold jerseys, and their equally famous pink playing strips. Eric Subihano on the mic here from Camperdown, just about set to get underway. When we do so, there's the whistle, away we go. For these two teams who both tasted victory once this season, both in round 2 actually. Sydney University in round 2 defeated the Ravens 4-1 at the Arctic Circle. On the same weekend as Illawarra Stingrays defeated with a 2-0 away success in North Parramatta, always in the top place to go. I'll wait for the appropriate break of play now to go through the 2 lineups. I'll start with where Sydney Uni can make one change from last week. Talia Sandler coming in for the suspended Kiara Benora, and their lineup is as follows. Because I saw them last week, I'll even chance this information for Sydney Uni. In goals, number 1, Hannah Callahan. In defence, number 24, Xander Ulich. Number 4, Talia Sandler. Number 6, Julia Harris. And number 5, their captain, Amelia Kirby. In midfield is number 8, Madison Van Dyke, team of the week last week for her. Number 20, Ellen Hughes, and number 16, Maria Savalias. In attack for the students, number 39, Asha Sutton. Number 9, Poppy Tay, and number 28, Isabella Rard. As that's a nice turn. Ellen Hughes out wide to Van Dyke. Quickly for the Stingrays in the field, I will go for the visitors lineup at firstly. We'll see how this plays and how it goes. It's at least the first touch from Baggio. Lucy Baggio. Robbie Baggio, myself. Now Middleton can't be served. So he was in the Stingrays first round for well over a decade at this stage. The Stingrays also spent time in the A-League with the City Tigers. There was one to chase. We're on the far side for Annalise Grove. Goal kick for Sydney. Here's the Stingrays lineup. The golf net is number 1, Kiara Roche. Number 6 is Jasmine Lamont. Number 7, the captain, Chloe Middleton. Number 8, Ella Giles. Number 10, Aileen Williams. Number 12, Ruby Egan Brown, former Sydney Uni player. Number 17, Adelaide Thompson. Number 19, Annalise Grove. Number 20, Lana McCordy. Number 30, Lucy Baggio. And number 34 is Brooklyn Hudson. Shot coming in from long range. Egan Brown shot. This is straightforward for Hannah Callahan. Substitutes for both teams. I'll start with Sydney Uni. So, for the moment, backup keeper Eva Fisher can let her hand down on the bench, but you know she might be called upon later. But the other Sydney Uni subs, Alice Thompson, Emily Brewster, Erica Johnson, Elizabeth Yeri, Claudia Pickett, Selena Barrett, Sydney Uni coached by Xavier Taylor. While for the Stingrays, Caitlin Russell is the backup keeper. The other players will be seen later for the visitors: Brielle Masters, Gemma Bishop, Annabella Pinkart, Nancy Keisha, Anne-Marie Kay, and Madison Sawkins. The Stingrays coached by Steve Gordon. As Poppy Tay chases one. Physical battle there, but she reckons she got the last touch over the defender. Just on the far side agrees. So it is early corner to the home side. It's on the defense. In this wonderful grandstand for the left of our filming position. So looking for a senior double. Held on for the wonderful victory over the Stingrays. That's 3 more vital club championship points. So now, interesting battle for club championships. Anyway, there's this corner. It's Sky. By the Stingrays. And I thought she was going to retrieve it. There was a touch from Sam Bells. That's a heavy fall here. It's Maria Savalias, who I think is off the ball challenging in fact for the signal. That's nothing too serious. Savalias being winded. This game, 5 minutes played here in the 5th minute. Middle between the Sydney and the Illawarra Stingrays. Certainly enjoying the long weekend. So, this competition traditionally plays traditionally teams play used exclusively for Sundays. Delighted to see that at different times that's been used more and more recently. This weekend actually a prime example. Games spread out over 4 days. This game to be played today on a Sunday. There was a game on Friday night and also 3 games yesterday and Saturday. With at Northbridge Oval, an absolute stampede of the Bulls defeating Sydney Olympic by 4 goals. The Arctic Circle, after Leichhardt beat 5 minutes in a row, defeating Spirit by 4 goals. And shout out to my good friend Ashley Weller. Another hat-trick for the Rugby captain at the Village Green. Well, all the Tigers tried to get it to the taught an absolute lesson for the NSW as that's called by there's also 2 NPL Women's New South Wales games for round 5, so to be played tomorrow, so 3 p.m. tomorrow. It's the Women of the Hills fresh off the historic first win in the top tier after their promotion at the end of last season. away from the Carlton Rams, 3 p.m. game at Linwood tomorrow. I'll actually be calling the 5 p.m. game from Wanderers Football Park. Western Sydney Academy host Wellington Ravens. So it's a good tackle from Middleton to Williams. Williams has runners, project forward, even though currently plays. Run it out. It's a strong run into Stingrays territory. Good to see Raj back on the field. Quick feed as well. Keeping it away from the pop-up opponents. To the left is York. Skills there. Sutton cuts in and shoots. Second. O'Shea, first shot neighbour. Today's fixture. Pressure from Tay. Releases. To York. So go back to that. There's the interception from Brooklyn Hudson. Williams will chase. Egan Brown trying to get in there as well. But it's a good tackle, good intervention from Sam Rook. Hughes. Right, Sutton. Safe pass back to George. Another safe pass. This is Paris. Sam Rook goes direct. Down. Big chase coming on from Kirby, but catch up. There's a goal kick that actually Sydney coaching staff thumbs up there. He's pretty intent on the field. Impressive pass from Sam Rook. The only points they made in 2026. The season's still early. Defeats in rounds 1, 3, and 4. We've been 12 places in total. Only 3 points. The decision goes away for Stingrays. For the Stingrays, they are in 9th place with 4 points. Good call. It's coming from that Wood mentioned away in North Parramatta 3 weeks ago. Also a draw last weekend's match of the round, which the Stingrays good job, as always, done by really promising commentators. 2 great additions to our football team. Early. At the
Take your space.
Okay, so as the Stingrays, Sydney Uni on the far side of the field. And that will be played to Van Dijk. Van Dijk, and it's an interesting ball. The keeper moving Urich as well forward from left back. Cross comes in, Hiroshi, well, there was defenders in front of her now. A finish from Poppy Tay. And Poppy Tay scores her first goal of the season. Stingrays couldn't deal with the ball in from Urich. And Poppy Tay was on hand to tuck it home. And it's Sydney Uni 1, Illawarra Stingrays 0.
Illawarra University, number 9. University 1, Stingrays 0.
Sorry, I need to change something. I think so. No, just my headset. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, sure. Apologies, I'm just sorting out some technical issues on the go, but the most important thing here is that it is Sydney Uni leading by 1-0, and possibly some concern for the home team. Isabella Rard down once again escorted off the field by the physio, so hopefully that's nothing too serious. There was a great build-up and good patience from Sydney Uni as they gradually turned the screw. Led to that ball in from Azantha Juric, which, as I said, wasn't dealt with, and Poppy Tay picking up the scraps, and a confident finish for Poppy Tay's first goal of the season.
Early.
Middleton now. And in fact, I think we are going to see a substitution. Emily Brewster's getting ready. And in fact, yeah, Xavier Taylor wants to make the sub now, so that's unfortunate. Apologies, no, my apology. It wasn't Rod that was down earlier. It was Maria Savalias, and it's unfortunate that Sydney Uni's number 16 cannot continue. Emily Brewster getting some early action here with her team. A goal to the good. Now Sutton deeper than she normally likes to operate, and some very close attention from Hudson. Sutton holds off two. Uni will settle for the throw. Keep it in the grandstand side, and a bit of a tumble, but it's all good according to the officials. The throw in quickly taken there by O'Cordy. Keenly fought contest in the early exchanges. As is Williams, and she goes direct, and, well, Stingrays fans, and actually there's a decent, at least from what I can pick up with my own ears, decent travelling support. Good to see people making the not at all short trip up from the south coast on the long weekend. A bit of excitement as that ball came in from Williams, but in the end, reasonably comfortable, the gather by Hannah Callahan. Giles works it back to Roche. Roche pass is accurate. Well, I have a couple of anecdotes. Well, I suppose I could call it one anecdote about Cara Roche. Definitely a keep who can play it out from the back. In fact, Roche very good with her feet. That anecdote coming up a bit later from her time at Blacktown City. But as Egan Brown looks up and delivers from the left-hand side, Callahan with another comfortable grab. As it's into the 15th minute here at the famous old Sydney Uni football ground, with Sydney Uni, the blue and gold, leading Stingrays by 1-0. Fact, as that comes in, and did notice that actually, I mean, some people say I look at my phone too much. Actually, grateful for the feedback. Yeah, the audio was a bit low apparently at the start of the game, so apologies for that. As Cordy chases this, we thank you for your patience as we work through these technical issues that come in from time to time. But here's Harris, and Harris strong to win the free kick in midfield. And, well, sometimes, normally you can steal a few metres, but not if the halfway line is nearby. Anyway, Sandbrook gets us back underway. Flick on from Tay, and that'll be straightforward for Chiara Roche. There's the flick, and Egan Bryan will chase this and get into the box. Here's Ruby Egan Brown, left foot, and it's a brilliant finish. And Stingrays do not take long before they equalise. The flick on was nice. Egan Brown still had a bit to do on the left boot. She's found the bottom corner, and we have an equaliser and 2 goals early on. Looking like some great Easter Sunday entertainment for you. Great flick on from Williams there. Stingrays, they come into this game having only scored in one of the first 4 games of the season, but whatever goal-scoring woes they've had have been rectified pretty quickly.
That's a goal for Illawarra Stingrays, number 12, Ruby Egan Brown, University 1, Stingrays 1.
I'm sure it will not be lost on quite a few people here. Ruby Egan Brown, a player for Sydney University last year, now scoring against the students. There you go. Setting up very nicely here. Hope you're enjoying the entertainment that this great competition provides for all of us. And while I might get a little bit ahead of myself, it won't be too long as the A-League women's season draws to a conclusion before players from that competition start filtering back into the various NPL comps around the country, including this one. Anyway, that's a thought for later this month, or at the end of this month. That registration window, or the mid-season registration window, opens on 30th. Anyway, 3 in the wall here, and Asher Sutton's free kick. Great in-swinging delivery. That'll be a corner. Sutton aims it at the back post. Uni win the header, but goal kick off Sandbrook. Rochet deciding that now is not the time to play out from the back. Aims for midfield. Strong header there from Kirby. And then that's Annie Grove. And another touch for Annie Grove. Now to Giles, and now Middleton's dropping a bit deeper. Now she'll drive. After all that good defending from today's uni goal scorer, Poppy Tay. It'll be a throw in for the home side to be taken by Juric. Oh, that half-finished thought from earlier. Yes, I do believe Zante Juric is related to former Sydney FC and junior Matilda's coach, Ante Juric. And Ante Juric, of course, known for many other things. Yes, he was quite a player himself, Ante. As that's worked back. Sandbrook. Van Dyke. And Juric again getting plenty of touches. Sutton just about kept that in play, but the Stingrays want it back. And Stingrays fan was calling for the throw-in, but the Stingrays decide they'd rather attack down this right-hand side. There's the cross, and will it spin out? Callahan's quick enough to prevent the corner kick. And really the sting taken out of that cross from Lucy Baggio. Callahan assesses her options. Now, the longer kick. A couple of headers. Middleton will retrieve, but then gives it straight to Van Dyke. Now forward to Tay. And the ref is actually going to bring that back for the late contact on Ellen Hughes. And in fact, one more thought, so I get distract myself. In case anyone's wondering, Ellen Hughes is not, as far as I can tell, related to former Sydney Uni player Laura Hughes. Now, here is Ellen Hughes. Can't thread it through. Now, Juric was well up the field for that attack, and now she'll need to chase back, I think. Stingrays going direct once more. Great ball for Egan Brown to chase, but then not quite the curl that I think Badger was looking for, so it ended up going straight to the keeper. Hughes with the flick, might spin, well, I think something left it for Tay, and Tay willing battler there, and again, Tay, good use of the body, wins the free kick. So 22nd minute here, or perhaps sneaking into the 23rd. Pretty much the midway point of the first half. It's Sydney Uni 1, Illawarra Stingrays 1. And this is Eric Subihano with the commentary from the Sydney Uni football grandstand. Poppy Tay opened the scoring for Sydney Uni. And then the equaliser for the Stingrays, courtesy of Ruby Egan Brown, as Roche claims confidently. Roche booms it. That'll go into opposition territory. And the deflection doesn't quite work out for Williams. Now, good first touch from Middleton. Hudson goes back to Giles. Lamont forward. Williams trying to be the target forward. Instead, she gives away a free kick.
Switch.
Here's Rod. Now that's a good intercept. Now a strong run. And Adelaide Thompson gets past Rod. Decent crossing position. That's what she does. A little half clearance, only as far as Baggio. And Baggio rides a challenge. Now Thompson. And Thompson plays it forward to El Cordy. So El Cordy does keep it alive. And Thompson, that's good patience. They didn't like what was forward of them. All the way back to Giles. She'll switch the point of attack. That will go to Annie Grove. Now Sandbrook just getting the jump on Williams there. Spell of possession from Stingrays. Especially, I mean, they have equalised, but they did concede the first goal. And they're kind of growing into this game as Roche goes long to Egan Brown. So it's Hughes back defending. And last touch off Stingrays for a Sydney Uni throw. That's what I talk about coverage that we have. Of course, the two NPL women's games that are to be played tomorrow, MacArthur versus Hills and the Wanderers versus Ravens. And by MacArthur I mean the Rams, because, you know, they're the team who play in MacArthur. But yeah, MacArthur versus Hills and Wanderers versus Ravens tomorrow can be watched the same way you're watching this one on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel, as I expand on our coverage and all the games that we've covered on this long weekend. There was the second division match of the round, League One Women's, also featuring a team from the South Coast as a South Coast Flame, drew 0-0 with Sutherland Strikers yesterday at Sir Ian McLennan Oval. In fact, Cody Ojado, much valued member of our Football New South Wales media team, is racking up the kilometres, because he was on the Instagram for Flame versus Strikers yesterday. On Friday, he was on our socials for Manly versus Mount. Oh, I knew I'd do that. Manly versus the Rangers. Cromer Park and Ian McLennan will certainly not close to each other, shall we say, as that will be straight at Roche.
Go loose.
Now down the middle. And Hudson can turn. Hudson tries to get the finesse on the pass. Sandbrook has to hurry. Gets another go at it. And now it's with Juric. And Juric, I think she just wanted to go safe. Just looking for touch, trying to get as much distance as she could. Now Uni can organise a bit more for this throw. Williams. And Rad can't quite push her off the ball. Williams. And lost her footing, but the official's happy to let play go. Here's El Cordy. Now Baggio. And Baggio. Not quite. Thompson. Good touch as Stingrays try to keep the pressure on. They'll try the left side with Grove. Now Egan Brown pointed to where she wants the ball, and she will keep that in. Followed all the way by Hughes. Stingrays throw. This would be Annie Grove to take this throw. I mean, this club becoming quite a family affair for the Groves. As Annie's younger sister Kira was in action in the under-23s game before this one. And also Sasha Grove, who you may know from Canberra United. Sasha played for Stingrays last year in between A-League seasons. As that gets the flick off Uni, and then Badger tries to flick it past the defender, so that will be swept up by Sandbrook. And a great skill from Lucy Badger. Crosses, it's a good cross, there's the header, and it goes across the field instead of towards the goal. And how about that skill from Lucy Badger? Robbie Badger would have been proud of that trick. And Sutton has the pass blocked by El Cordy.
Good girls. Mark up.
We're getting close to the half-hour mark here, as that's a bit of an awkward one for Goodrich, but she does well, and Brewster helps it on. There's the clearance from Giles.
Yeah, Luke. Oh, go.
Williams will chase. Harris has got the position, though. Now, quick feet from Sutton, but going backwards and further back. There's the ball, the play right in front of us. Great position we have here at Sydney Uni, as that was read well by Giles. Now Giles, one for Egan Brown to chase, so it's a crucial header there, I think, from Van Dijk. Now, and is the captain, Amelia Kirby. They back off. Kirby will play it forward, and in the end, Roche, good command of the area, and falls on the ball. El Cordy down the line, and laid off by Hudson, but Brewster's in the way. Now, base to turn for Rad, and more centrally, that's Van Dijk. Van Dijk inadvertently hit her teammate, kept alive by Hughes. And Van Dijk again. Ball to the middle. Oh, sorry. That will be the Stingrays' ball. Middleton has the pass charged down. Well read by Harris, and then another block there from Hughes. It's Brewster with the header. Now back with the Stingrays once more. We're past the half-hour mark here in Camperdown. Sydney Uni 1, Illawarra Stingrays 1. Uni's goal from Poppy Tay, and the Illawarra Stingrays equaliser from Ruby Egan Brown, who's on the ball right now. And she'll cross it. Williams is up there, interested, and a flick on, but a flick on in the end only to the goalkeeper. Harris, straight ball, and Stingrays cut it off well. It's back with Giles and then all the way back to Roche. Now, hang on, actually, we'll have a stoppage and we'll check on the welfare of Aileen Williams, who's been a good contributor. She set up that equalising goal for Ruby Egan-Brown, but now the physio has been waved onto the field. Actually, as I plug things, I'm going to go a bit away from the usual. There's no NPL women's action after this one. In fact, no Football New South Wales action, full stop. But I've decided that the game at 7 p.m. is relevant because it will have a lot of players that have played in NPL Women's New South Wales. The Australia Under-20s, the Young Matildas, you can switch from the end of this game pretty much straight into kickoff for the Young Matildas and their Women's Asian Cup Under-20 group stage game against India. I think it's okay to promote a national team. Anyway, that'll be Young Matildas versus India, 7 p.m, and that'll be on Channel 10. I think from memory 13 Football New South Wales juniors were in, actually it would be 14 Football New South Wales juniors in the squad. In that Young Matilda squad, one of them a late call-up, that being Kaylee Talon-Henniker, who played for Stingrays last year. And that'll be a fascinating one to watch straight after this one finishes. Just open a new tab on your browser, I suppose. Now, Williams, look, I mean, as far as a player receiving treatment, as far as that situation would go, looking reasonably comfortable and right on cue, being helped up. She'll have to go off the field for a short time, but don't think that's the end of Aileen Williams' participation in this contest. So an uncontested drop ball, and Jasmine Lamont will take over in just a moment. And yep, Williams already getting ready to be signaled back on, as is her teammates who have the ball at the back. Now 34 minutes on the clock here. Forward, but that's the kind of ball Williams would have liked to have a play at, but she's only just been allowed back onto the field. Tay holding it up and gets away from two players. Poppy Tay shoots from range. It's decent. It's better than decent. It's a wonderful goal. Poppy Tay has her second, and Sydney Uni are back in front. She was in a tight space, but got out of trouble from about 30 yards out. She scored her second of the first half. And Uni's number 9 is having a great time here on the long weekend.
Goal, University. That's the brace for Poppy Tay, number 9. University 2, Stingrays 1.
Great song choice there on the PA, as that is a goal that will get the Sydney Uni fans all fired up, that's for sure. You even heard briefly the dulcet tones of Chris Caspers, as that is a crunching tackle from Middleton. That's going to be a free kick, foul on Brewster. In case you wondered, Chris Caspers, yes, the father of Maddie Caspers and Holly and Eddie and Heidi. Once again, 3 in the wall. Roche's keepers like to do, being millimetre perfect with the positioning of the 3-player wall. And the ref doing likewise, making sure it's back the required 10 yards. This is a long way out. Sutton looks interested though, and in fact does go direct, but it's way over the crossbar. Now, I mentioned two teams. These two clubs occur contributed so much to New South Wales women's football over the years. Stingrays actually about 20 years old, if memory serves me correctly. This might even be their 20th anniversary season. And over the years, so many great players have played for both of these clubs. I suppose the obvious starting point is Michelle Heyman, who long-time Illawarra Stingray, but also did have a brief spell at Sydney Uni in the 2020 season. Actually, one of my very first games involved calling a Sydney Uni game with Michelle Heyman at Arlington Oval. Great venue, not too far away from here. Anyway, there'll be more time to reminisce about greats of these two clubs later on, as it's back to Ella Giles, direct, and Williams will get just another good flick, but just ended up a little bit behind Egan Brown, and the booming clearance from Uni will go all the way to Roche. In case you're wondering, Caitlin Ford, also a former Illawarra Stingray. Not a bad two players to have in your club's history, Michelle Heyman and Caitlin Ford. Roche into Uni territory, but that's Rard with the recovery. And now El Cordy kept it away from Sutton. They work the space for Baggio, and end up being covered as El Cordy has gotten forward from right back, but there's those defensive tackling skills. Cross coming in from Baggio, it is cleared, and Brewster can't really found the out ball. Instead it's Brooklyn Hudson, and now Annie Grove. Egan Brown trying to get back on side, instead it goes more centrally. Still isn't clear. And here is Hudson with another touch. El Cordy. Williams. Look it back, here's Middleton. More space near halfway. Lamont will try and drop one over the top. There's the overlapping run from Grove. Now Grove will cross, but it's blocked. Block coming in from Hughes. Thompson was fouled. I mentioned League One Women's earlier. Might as well do a brief result roundup, because there was a game on Friday in the women's second tier at Trilla Reserve. Canada Tigers defeating SD Raiders by 2-1. And as I mentioned earlier, yesterday in the second division match of the round for League One Women's, 0-0 between South Coast Flame and Sutherland Strikers, as it's dinked in from Hudson, and then flag's up. The flag is up. That's offside. And while I'm in the mood for score updates from what's happened this weekend. Never mind. I was hoping someone would have uploaded the score from Bankstown City and Blacktown Spartans into Dribble. Hasn't happened yet. Anyway, that game was played at 2:30 today in League One Women's. Two 5 p.m. kickoffs in the second tier. Nepean versus Central Coast Mariners. Nepean's having a good season, by the way. And Blacktown City versus Marconi, as that will run away from Lucy Badger. And there is a League One Women's game on Easter Monday at Majors Bay Reserve with Interlions and Newcastle Jets. And as Hudson tries some tricks but can't get past Sutton, that'll go all the way through to Tay, and the good pass to Brewster. Brewster trying to release Hughes, and flag is up against Ellen Hughes. Going back to Interlions, massive news coming out from them on the social media this week that Interlions, once she can be registered, once the mid-season registration window opens, Interlions will be able to call on the services of Kirsty Fenton of Sydney FC and fame. It's not often you get to sign a player who has scored at an Under-20 World Cup, but that's who Interlions will have in their ranks starting next month. Now, it's the defensive header, but Williams snaffles up possession and goes from way out. It's going to drop, but not in time. Callahan just makes sure with a dive, but I think she wasn't too worried. And we're going to be near the conclusion of the first half here. I wonder what these two teams have, or these two coaches have cooked up in terms of halftime team talks. But I can say, and actually, as I go once again back to the chat I had pre-game with Chris Caspers, I think he's Sydney Uni president, if memory serves me correctly. Apologies, Chris, if I got your role wrong, but yes, the pitch looking a lot greener than it did last season. They've it is a hybrid pitch, and of course this pitch gets a lot of use with Uni women's program, Sydney Uni men's program, and rugby as well. But they was telling me they've taken 10 millimeters of sand off the surface, and that's why it's looking a lot more green this year, which we love to see. Now, decent first touch, and the shot comes in, and it's safe hands from Roche. Goes for the quick distribution to Egan Brown. Layoff for Grove. Well, I'm on that pre-game conversation with Chris Caspers. Actually, something you wanted to point out to me, and something us commentators are very grateful for. A slight change to Sydney Uni's iconic blue and gold quarter design, with a blue panel situated where the white numbers are, so they are much easier to read this year. And on behalf of, I'd say, the entirety of the Football New South Wales media team, I'm happy to say that. We thank Sydney Uni for making this change. As that's a nice ball, and Hudson can get around the corner. Cut back here to Baggio, but it is cleared. Middleton looks up. She'll play back into the mixer. And then that's a quick pass out wide. And the ball will go back to the hosts. 44th minute here. Rooster does enough to gain her team a couple of meters. Juric. When in doubt, just down the line. There you go. Gains more meters. Juric. Third thrown in quick succession. Bit shorter. Sutton trying to hold it up. Quick feet there, but she's still got a scramble. In the end, it's Middleton, the Stingrays. Egan Brown, and now that's good skill. Great dummy to leave it for Williams. And into the middle. Egan Brown can't get there in time, but it might drop for Baggio. Baggio has a shot. Blocked by Van Dyke. Great work from Madison Van Dyke. By the way, as a reminder, well, there's 2 games on Easter Monday, so I assume that the next NPL Women's New South Wales Team of the Week, that'll be posted on Tuesday, you would, I'd suspect, after the conclusion of this round, as Poppy Tay will run straight at the Stingrays and gets into the box before there's the touch from El Cordy, and that is a corner. But yes, always fascinating to see the NPL Women's New South Wales Team of the Week, comprised out of 3-2-1 votes from the Football New South Wales media, because we've got one person at each game, so I've pretty much told you who does the voting. At least with games on Monday, I don't have to send my votes in tonight, so that's all good. Now Sutton is going to take this corner to the near post and not really dealt with, and there's a close range finish from Emily Brewster right on the stroke of half time. Sydney Uni go 3-1 up. Again, it's a ball from the left side. Sydney Uni making an absolute nuisance of them. remaining minute or so, and then we'll see. And then they'll assess her in the dressing sheds. She is back to her feet. And we're feeling that hamstring. This is not really a good sign for the Stingrays, but they must go on. We must. The score 3-1 to Sydney University. Baggio, she's been promising in the first half, it has to be said. She doesn't mind taking on a defender or two. Just want the throw. Now, quick throw's on here because he can't be offside from a throw, and of course, Hudson's going to chase this. And Hudson still has it. Hudson cut back. Williams can't pull the trigger. Here's Baggio. She shoots. Too much blue and gold in the way. And by my stopwatch, we've had 2.5 minutes of time added on, but most of that we were waiting to restart as Kiara Roche was seen to by the physio, as that is going to be a free kick conceded by Poppy Tay. Boomed forward by Giles. It's over Williams. That is a thumping header. Think of Harris. Now Middleton. Back to Lamont. And you'd think there wouldn't be too much time left in the opening period, as that's intercepted by Kirby. Now direct to Tay. The defensive pressure's coming, but she finds the runner. That's good. More good centre forward play from Tay, bringing teammates into the action. And here's Juric to Sutton. I think Sutton stayed onside. Sutton strong in the challenge, or against the challenge. Juric. And now Sutton, possession play, back to Rod. Sutton couldn't quite wrap the left boot around it. Did I see a glance at the watch from the ref? We might go on for a little bit more. Short goal kick. Now Stingrays want to play it out from the back. We go on into the 5th minute of time added on. That'll make its way to Baggio. Now El Cordy might try to drop one over the top. It looks to be all Sydney Uni here, though Egan Brown will put the pressure on. And there's more pink jerseys arriving. One of them is Middleton, but it's lobbed away. Rod. Now Hudson tried her best, and in fact has won it back for the visitors. Now that'll be Giles forward, and then Sandbrook has had enough of that and has just sent it into Stingrays territory. I think I saw another glance at the watch. Oh, yeah, we'll still go on. And Juric plays it forward. Now we have the end of the opening period. It's been a great 45 minutes, well actually a great 50 minutes for Sydney University. They lead Illawarra Stingrays by 3-1 as the teams head to the dressing sheds. Poppy Tay opened the scoring in the 11th minute. There was a Stingrays equaliser courtesy of Ruby Welcome back to the second half of our NPL Women's New South Wales coverage on this Catholic Easter Sunday. Hope you are enjoying the action that we've had. We've had quite a bit of action in the opening period as the whistle blows. The second half underway here at Sydney University Football Ground, and Sydney University leading by 3-1. Poppy Tay with a double. The other uni goal courtesy of Emily Brewster, who came on as an early substitute for the unfortunate Maria Savalias. And the Stingrays goal was scored by Ruby Egan-Brown. Eric Subihana with the commentary here. Absolutely delighted to be back at this fantastic venue, and especially now that it is bathed in floodlight. It is a great place to watch football. So, Stingrays free kick, and Hudson delivers. But all uni as it drops. Good header. I think that's Rod that's going to help it on for Ellen Hughes. And Hughes, can she get the touch? No, because, well, I think that was Annie Grove actually getting around to the cover, and definitely getting around to the cover there is Chloe Middleton. Stingrays ball with Lamont. Egan Brown double marked here. Holds off two players, and they do work it to Middleton. Down the line. Baggio doesn't get it, but it will be Stingray's throw. A bit of discussion, and the decision ends up going Sydney Uni's way. There we go, another demonstration of that adage. When in doubt, just go down the line from a throw-in. This one's a bit more central, and Hughes is under pressure here. Oh, that's unfortunate. Badger slammed the ball into Hudson, but ball still with the Stingrays and with El Cordy. El Cordy wants it back on the right boot and crosses. Goal kick. As the second ball is retrieved, so we can get going again. And Hannah Callahan, does she go short? Or does she go for distance? She'd been a half-time sub. It's only 4 minutes. That's about 10 minutes less than usual it takes for me to figure it out, because fortunately I think it's Aileen Williams who cannot continue. That's a shame. She did have a good first half for the Stingrays despite the scoreline. I think it looks like Aileen Williams has been withdrawn to be replaced by number 25 for the team in pink, Alabella Pinkard. Appropriately enough. Bit of nominative determinism there, as Kirby will play it through, and then that Tay is not going to catch up to that. Quite a reshuffle as well, because it's definitely not a straight swap Pinkard for Williams. As a lovely touch from Sandbrook. Well, wait to get the ball back for the students. Now, flags in to stay down, and Poppy Tay racing away. Tight angle, she shoots, and does it get a touch off Roche? It does, so that is a great save from the Stingray shot stopper, who had her own injury worries in the first half, but she's showing that all is fine. Great athleticism there. Great athleticism there to keep Tay out and prevent her from completing her hat-trick, but Poppy Tay certainly looks in the mood. Sure, I thought she had a pretty decent game last weekend. I was on the mic at Popondetta Park as Sydney Uni lost 2-1 to the Rangers. In fact, she's been in a wars, Poppy Tay, last week, involved an impromptu jersey change. There was quite a bit of blood on her jersey, and it required, among other things, a swap to a new jersey, which had the same number as one of her teammates, so they needed some tape. Uni staff quickly getting some tape to turn a number 20 jersey into a number 201 jersey. But anyway, back to this game as the cross comes in and punched by Roche does enough. It falls at the feet of Thompson, and that'll go towards halfway. Now, well, Brooklyn Hudson could be in a bit of trouble in back play, but we go on with Baggio. And Baggio manages to work it to Egan Brown, but there's an offside, and now Hudson's going to get some treatment. She's getting up, but getting up slowly. Get up she does, and no physio called on. So I just wouldn't. I'd love to know how that can be Stingray's ball after our Stingray was called offside. Somebody please tell me the logic behind that. Anyway, as Mamma Mia. Anyway, I mean, I only did a level 4 refereeing course, but even I could figure that one out. Now, short throw, but actually Lemon does end up with the ball. Then I think that's Brewster. As I give the first apology of the year, first apology of many for this year. Yeah, I'm doing my best when the ball's at the far side of the field as that's flipped on. Might break for the Stingrays. Here's Alcordy, and the shot is over the angle of post and bar. Tight angle it was. Now, Giles working it back. Here's Roche. Roche comfortable to take the ball at her feet well outside the area. Now, ball's with Uni. Here's Sandbrook, who's got to hurry, and under pressure she gives it away, but bailed out by her teammates. Brewster stealing in there, and now there's one for Tay to chase, so Giles has to hurry. Giles will end up shielding out for Roche. Roche, that'll bounce over Egan Brown and possibly towards Baggio. Decent first touch. Lucy Baggio, the support is coming to her right, and one of them is Alcordy. Back to Baggio, and then that's a great tackle. That's a wonderful tackle from Van Dyke. Spot on, edge of the box. Van Dyke will take on Lemon, get past Lemon. Now that's Sutton. He's one-on-one with Pinkard, the player introduced at halftime for the Stingrays. Sutton will take it to the byline, and it's low. Now Tay's in there, and that surely is offside. Yes, it is. Roche. Before I forget, I should probably explain that reference I made in the first half. Roche, in terms of skill with the ball at the feet, you'd have to say among the best in this cohort of NPL Women's New South Wales keepers. As Uni have the ball, I mean, she has in recent times played as a striker in first grade competition, and as this Uni play the ball in, and that's going to be another offside. So, what? No, it's 4 years ago. Even now, this story, when I heard the story, it feels like yesterday, but yeah, it's 4 years ago when Kiara Roche was a goalkeeper at Blacktown City, but had a finger injury, couldn't be on goal. They decided to put her on the bench as a substitute keeper. It was a game against Interlions. They decided to bring her on the second half. She scored twice, despite being ordinarily the team's starting goalkeeper. And then that was Blacktown's first game against Inter Lions in the 2022 season. In the return fixture, it was 2-2 in the dying minutes. Kiara O'Shea was in goal. Blacktown won a free kick. Kiara O'Shea charged upfield, told everyone to get out of the way, curled a 25-yard free kick into the top corner in the 93rd minute. Blacktown won 3-2 against Inter that day. So yes. Anyway, back to this game, and Stingrays denied, at least this time, Kirby getting the jump on Badjo there. There we go, Kiara O'Shea, keeper with at least 3 first-grade goals to her name. Back to Giles. That looks like that'll be 2 straight for her teammates, and a little bit of a bobble, a little bit of a heart flutter for the Sydney Uni faithful, but the ball does end in Hannah Callahan's gloves. Grove determined run, but I think just outnumbered on this near side of the field, so one for Brewster to chase. Now Brewster's got to hold down R2. Good sliding tackle from Lamont. Well, I think she thought she got the touch of Brewster, but decision will be a Sydney Uni throw. And as Brewster, who came on as a sub herself in the first half, because of an injury to Maria Savalias, she is getting up slowly. I've not called the physio on yet, but let's see. Brewster does get back up, so we will restart with the throw-in. Now Kirby, low cross, but dealt with. Although, there's a header from Brewster. And now what? They let it bounce. Both teams let it bounce. And then that's a foul, surely. Yes. I mean, I know I shouldn't preempt the referee's decisions, but that one seemed pretty straightforward. Little drop of the shoulder from Brooklyn Hudson, helping win the free kick. And Hudson has the ball right now. That's another foul. Van Dijk's pinged for the foul on Middleton. And Lamont keen to get on with it. Trailing 3-1 as there's the shot from Thompson, and that will be wide of the target. Callahan retrieves, so we can go again. Good header from Middleton, and there's a chase on here. Race won by Sydney Uni, cleared into the grandstand. Just a quick plug for next weekend's League One women's coverage. Of course, that is the Orthodox Easter weekend, and important to recognise the Orthodox family in Football New South Wales circles. There certainly is a significant part of our community, but of course there is the next weekend's League One women's match of the round, and that's from Jensen Park on Sunday the 12th of April. Bankstown City hosting the Central Coast Mariners, 2:30 p.m. there, Sunday the 12th. Handball called against Annie Grove. And next weekend, of course, we've got a full set of games for next weekend in NPL Women's. That'll be round 6 for the top division competition. We'll go back to this thought as Sutton takes on Thompson. Sutton gets it onto the right foot. Asher Sutton will have a shot from range, and it's a good save from Roche. On the rebound, it's Hughes back across the box, and the header, it's up, but you might get a second go at it. Probably really putting herself about, and there's Juric who's forward, but the bounce favours Stingrays, and then Sutton, all ball there. Yeah, that tackle looked pretty good to me. Actually, Sutton really helping out Juric, who had gotten forward from left back, and the tackle which took the ball out of play from Sutton helping Urich get back to her position. But I might kind of drip feed the details of next weekend's NPL Women's New South Wales games. That'll be shown on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. There's certainly a sport for choice in terms of women's football on our YouTube page. As that's worked to Brewster, and Brewster. Hughes doesn't get the touch he wanted. Pinkard plays it forward. Van Dyke. Hughes and Middleton coming around the blind side, but Middleton goes straight back to Uni, and Van Dyke is outnumbered. Now Badger with the cross, which is blocked at the near post. Grove kills it. Grove back to the centre backs. I think that's Giles. Annie Grove, Hannah Callahan yelling out the instructions. And that ball is retrieved. That's Sandbrook. And Sandbrook sends it away. Header from Grove, falls for Van Dyke. Van Dyke return ball. And Hughes, there's Rad, and once again, Tay will chase. But that'll go all the way through to Kiara Roche. Roche, not messing about. Into the night sky it goes. And again, well, against Sydney Uni, let it bounce, but in fact, it will be Stingrays' ball. Thompson to Egan Brown. Past the hour mark here. Egan Brown swings it in, and there's a header from Brewster. Now it breaks for Thompson, and that will be a goal kick. So next weekend on the NPL Women's New South Wales coverage for round 6. The round starts on Saturday the 11th of April, and it is our match of the round for next weekend. From North Taramara Recreation Area, it's Northern Tigers versus Western Sydney Wanderers Academy. I'll be on the commentary with Emily Arnold. So two-person call there. Yes, we can make it work at North Taramara, trust me. I've done it before. Match of the round coverage. It's the full set of media there, so the roster says we'll have Maeve Sparrow working the Instagram, and we'll have Angela de Porbay taking the photography. So full team for Northern Tigers versus Western Sydney Wanderers, Saturday, 11th of April, 6:30 p.m. Now, here's Rad, tackled by Middleton, and that will be left for the keeper. So the other 6 NPL Women's New South Wales games for round 6 will all be played on Sunday, the 12th of April. As that... we go to Middleton. Middleton leaves it short, so Brewster takes over, and Brewster will shoot. It's over the bar. But yes, in 7 days' time, 6 NPL women's games on Sunday, the 12th of April. The action starts at 3 p.m. with the matchup I like to call the Stephen Peters Plate, with MacArthur Rams versus Spirit FC from Linwood Park. And on Sunday, the 12th, there's 2 games at 5 p.m. Illawarra Stingrays host Bulls FC Academy at the Pond, Lakelands Oval in Dapto, their new venue, also at 5 p.m. in 7 days' time. It's Rangers versus Apia Leichhardt from Poppendetta Park. Then at the always strange time of 5:10 p.m. on Sunday the 12th, it's Ravens versus Manly from the Arctic Circle. At 5:30 p.m. on Sunday the 12th, I'm calling the game at Valentine Sports Park between Hills United and Sydney University, as Stingrays get it out of their box, but not much further. And then to round up the action on Sunday the 12th at 5:40 p.m. from the Crest, it's Sydney Olympic versus Western Sydney Wanderers Academy. Now, round the back, here's Sutton. Sutton shoots, and it's straight at Roche. Cordy can't get the touch. Egan Brown trying to settle it. Close defensive attention, but she finds a runner, and that runner is Middleton. Middleton looking for the ball inside. It's read by Sandbrook, who's had a good game coming into the lineup for this week. Talia Sandbrook. Sutton will try again, getting the ball from Tay. Sutton one-on-one with Pinkard. Sutton, full of tricks, shoots, and I think almost a goal line clearance. Annie Grove might not have gone in, but Annie Grove not taking any chances. Here's Rod. And a little bit of a stumble there. Now, it's a sharp turn, and Poppy Tay to the edge of the box. Still going. Here's Poppy Tay. That's brilliant. And what a way to seal your hat trick. Poppy Tay, big 3 defenders, kept her balance and kept her nerve. When one-on-one with the keeper, Sydney Uni leading by 4 goals to 1. And how about that? A first-grade hat trick for Sydney Uni's number 9. Absolutely fantastic.
That's the hat trick. Hat trick for Poppy Tay. Number 9. University 4, Illawarra Stingrays 1.
Poppy Tay, she's really blossoming in the Sydney Uni first grade team. And I think she's a right-footed player, but 2 of today's 3 goals coming with a left boot. We've seen it all. First one, just a poacher's finish from close range. The second one from about 30 yards out. And the third one, a great individual effort. And while we can't really give away too many hints here, as sweeper keeper required from Callahan, and she doesn't quite get there. Badger blocks the attempted clearance. Callahan bailed out by one of her teammates. In fact, we're going to see a sub. And as we look at this sub, it's going to be number 3, Alice Thompson. And there's at least one Alice Thompson fan in the crowd. Alice Thompson actually pretty good as an impact player last week. Very handy off the bench. Against the Rangers 7 days ago. And was as Badger's a good turn and then shoots that ball. Turned out to be a good pass for El Cordy. El Cordy has, there we go, she's pulled one back, so there's plenty of goals tonight here. Rana El Cordy, that's her 3rd goal of the season. You suspect that was a missed shot from Lucy Badger, but it turned into a great pass, and Rana El Cordy has found the bottom corner. So, there we go, this one far from over.
We had a substitution for Sydney University. Coming on the field was number 3, Alice Thompson. And coming from the field was number 20, Ellen Hughes.
Yeah, okay. So, big thank you to Chris Casper, who's paying attention. Yeah. Big thank you to Chris Casper, who's paying attention to the substitution when I wasn't. Van Dyke. Thompson straight into the action and taking on defenders. Middleton's done just enough, you think, there. Now Grove. Bit of space for Vermont as Brooklyn Hudson just stretching out the calf a little bit, but I think I know what that signal meant. The hand stretched out in the direction of the bench. Do not even think of subbing me. And there we go. Actually, thinking about Brooklyn Hudson, with a name like that, I imagine her parents were in a very New York state of mind when they decided to name her. Sutton taking on defenders once again. Still going. Asher Sutton, and takes a deflection and goes through the crowd and out the other side. And that touch off Stingrays, I think, yes. Uni ball. Header there from Kirby. Stingrays gradually moving up the near side of the field, and legendary New South Wales women's photographer Dan Ullman in position, as he always is. I see Dan all the time, whether it's NPL women's or A-League women's. Always taking photographs. Give him a follow at SoccerPicsAP on Instagram. He lost his old account. It's a terrible story, but at least he's got a new one. And we can still enjoy his photography. As Groves missed out there, but Middleton should retrieve that one, although the pressure is there from Thompson. that, well, Sandbrook will retrieve it. A bit of a loose touch, possibly. So she had to hurry. Keeps it away from Badjo. And then played forward. Hop off the grass, or hybrid service, actually. And Tay loses out to Pinkard. Into the final 20 minutes here. We've had 4 goals in the first half and 2 goals in the second. Sydney University leading by 4 goals to 2 over Illawarra Stingrays. For Sydney Uni, a Poppy Tay hat-trick and a goal from Emily Brewster. For the Stingrays, goals from Ruby Egan-Brown and Lana El-Cordy. And this is Eric Subihano with the commentary from the Sydney Uni football ground. Absolutely delighted to be calling this wonderful competition. Some people would say it's the greatest league in the world. That is an argument for possibly another time, as that is low and almost goes all the way through Uni, but they work it to the left. And Sutton, one more time. You can tell she loves running at defenders. Not sure Annabella Pinkard loves it as much, but Sutton with the shot, and it's a brilliant goal. So Asher Sutton makes it 5-2 to Sydney Uni, and really that's the goal her players deserved. Especially in the second half, Sydney Uni have kept feeding her the ball. Asher Sutton has got her name on the score sheet. It's another great individual effort. And Sydney Uni have 5 goals, turning out to be a great long weekend for them.
Goal University, number 39, Asher Sutton, University side. Stingrays 2.
Now it's the shot from Thompson. The deflection will fall the way of El-Cordy. And I think Sydney Uni are preparing for Noor Hijazi to be subbed on. As you see that off frame. Meanwhile, the ball comes in and Callahan catches that good claim under pressure. There's a couple of spectators to be enjoying the goal animation on that scoreboard. Actually, you know what? Not just them. I enjoyed it too. Good to see that kind of stuff in our league. Van Dijk takes a tumble and has won the free kick. Great first touch from Poppy Tay. Now she tried to be the target forward. Idea was right, but an overhit pass. Alice Thompson was never going to catch up to that one. Oh, good touch from Hudson there. And then Van Dijk taking no prisoners with the challenge. Stingrays go on, left-hand side. Thompson chasing back. Middleton turns on the ball. Across, bit underhit, I think, compared to what she wanted. Tay lets it run away from her boot. Hudson again. That's Rod. Ball rolls out. In fact, Stingray sub coming up now. And number 26. That'll be Madison Keisha. Rocking what I like to call the... Oh, actually, no. Don't mind me. I thought she was wearing gloves. Don't mind. Never mind that. Anyway. Please excuse my silliness. Madison Keisha, number 26 for Stingrays, replacing number 34, Brooklyn Hudson. Despite the scoreline, I think that's been a good shift in midfield for Hudson.
Illawarra Stingrays coming on the field, number 26, Madison Keisha.
Decent dummy from the ref there to allow Stingrays to continue. El-Cordy. And then that's came at an awkward height towards Egan Brown. She could not control it into the final quarter of an hour here. Sydney Uni leading by 5 goals to 2. Giving themselves a great chance of doubling their points tally for 2026 with how they played so far on those 5 goals. A Poppy Tay hat-trick added to goals from Emily Brewster and Asha Sutton. For Stingrays, they've given I think a pretty good account of themselves, despite what the scoreboard suggests. Their goals coming from Ruby Egan Brown and Lana El Cordy. As Asha Sutton gets a well-deserved round of applause. She makes way. Uni number 19 is Noor Hijazi. She'll get about 15 minutes to show us what she can do.
Our brace score, Poppy Tay. And coming onto the field to replace her.
Okay, I've had a shocker there. It's actually Poppy Tay coming off.
Number 19, Noor Hijazi.
Oh, I'm sorry, everyone. Poppy Tay's the player that's been substituted. Asha Sutton still on the field. And now apparently playing more centre forward with Noor Hijazi on left wing, the part of the field where Asha Sutton has had a lot of success, particularly in the second half. Here is Sutton. There's plenty forward in this attack, at least 5, and Hijazi with a touch. The ball into the middle, right idea towards Brewster, running free, but the ball got to Roche first. Booming kick, requiring the header from Harris. Egan Brown, yep, she has kept it in. And right near the corner flag, but Stingrays really don't have any time to waste if they are to get back into this one. El Cordy considers the throw-in. It's a back from Keisha, and El Cordy into the middle towards Bajo. There's Bajo again, looking for Lamont. And now it's played clear. Now, Hijazi, decent ball to bring Juric into the play. Juric playing it a bit safer. That's, of course, what Uni can do given the scoreline, but even so, Rad still wants to attack. Now, first time ball from Kirby, bit of space for Thompson. Here's Thompson. And now on the left foot, Alice Thompson, but sticky gloves, and a good save from Roche. Inadvertent 1-2 there. Now Kirby playing it forward, but finds Middleton in the way. Giles going direct. Uni allowed to bounce and then perhaps kicked away from the advancing Callahan, but Uni in the end get the job done defensively. Let's back up the other end and work to the other keeper, Chiara Roche. So we're close to the final 10 minutes here. Now, it just gets away from Egan Brown there, so Kirby can settle it, and now it's with Sandbrook. Far side is Chijazi battling away. Stingrays ball though. And then that's clean tackle. I think that was Van Dijk there. Thompson taking on Grove, and Thompson Thompson almost wins a 50-50 against a teammate there. Still with Uni. Van Dijk. Now bounced out wide. Here's Rod. Really well. Sutton facing backwards. Someone could have told her to turn. Now facing forwards. Here's Thompson. Thompson to the far post, not swinging towards the teammates, and it's an easy grab for Roche. Roche sends it. There's 4 forward Stingrays, but it ends up with a Uni boot, and actually there's a Uni player down in back play, and play stopped to have a check on Brewster. So while Brewster's being looked after, let's see, what else can I plug? Oh, just another reminder in case you missed it during the first half. There's 2 NPL Women's New South Wales games tomorrow on Catholic Easter Monday. So 3 p.m. tomorrow from Linwood Park. It's Macarthur Rams against Hills United. Actually would be a matchup of a Sapphire Cup Round 4 game between those 2 teams last year. And tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'll have commentary from Rudy Hill. It's Western Sydney Wanderers Academy against Gladesville Ravens. And I just hope that they haven't taken down the A-League filming scaffold yet, because I would like to call a game from there. But I suppose I'll find out tomorrow whether the scaffold's still up. Now, here we go into the middle. It's a one hop off the grass. Hannah Cowhan gathers, and I think might have heard it. A shout from the Uni bench to settle. Now, oh, that's a good fake from Sandbrook. By a bit of time, and then Thompson wins the throw. Excuse me. Ball. Well, see, my eyes aren't getting any younger. I like it when the ball's on the side nearest to me. Makes mistakes less likely. Less likely. Badger. Sending that one straight to Callahan. And as the time counts down by the ref, Callahan sends it into Stingrays territory. It's kind of between defenders and keeper, but Roche is calm enough and just rolls that into the box. And a bit of silliness there. Anyway, let's just get on with it, I say. Now for Stingrays, as that is retrieved on the far side. And then Sydney Uni ball. I think we had the Stingrays' upcoming fixtures. Yes, I did say in 7 days' time there would be their first game at their new venue, the Pond Lakelands Oval in Adapto, Sunday 12th of April, 5 p.m. They host Bulls FC Academy. After that, they're away in the Arctic Circle on Saturday the 18th of April, a 3 p.m. game against Spirit. They finish April's action Sunday 26th of April, 5 p.m. They're at home to Rangers. And then in round 9, Sunday 3rd of May, they have a 5:40 p.m. kickoff away to Sydney Olympic at the Crest. Then round 10, Sunday 10th of May, they have what I like to call the NPL Women's New South Wales Distance Derby. Yes, it's Illawarra Stingrays versus Manly United at Lakelands Oval in Dapto. Thompson shoots from range, and it's swinging, but good save from Roche. Of course, in 7 days' time, their first game at Lakelands Oval in Dapto. They did have a home game this season, but I think at the last minute, due to waterlogged pitches, they had to move their round 1 game against the Wanderers to Mayimba Community Park Field 4. I think that's what it said on Dribble. Also, I almost forgot, but there's plenty of time. I could probably sneak in a plug for what myself and my friends like to call the greatest cup competition in the world, the Sapphire Cup, because the draw's been made for rounds 2 and 3. As NPL teams, these two get a bye through to round 3 of the Sapphire Cup, and Illawarra Stingrays have an intriguing game against last year's Champion of Champions winners Linfield from the Northern Suburbs Football Association. So Stingrays will be away to Linfield in round 3. Match details yet to be determined, but I'm going to keep a close eye on this one. Linfield have a lot of ex-NPL players, mostly with their experience mostly with Northern Tigers, which I suppose would make sense in the northern suburbs of Sydney, but among them, players Linfield could call on former Northern Tigers first grade captain Matty Bart, as well as another Tigers first grade centurion Emma Watkins. So whenever Linfield play Stingrays, that'll be one to keep an eye on. Good tackle from Middleton there. And for their part, Sydney Uni's round 3 Sapphire Cup game, that's already been determined. It's here at the Sydney Uni Football Ground on Wednesday, the 22nd of April, a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. They host Western Sydney Wanderers Academy, who were semi-finalists, I believe, in the last year's Sapphire Cup, the Wanderers' first entry into the greatest cup competition in the world. As Kirby crosses, it's over Hijazi. And then that'll be cleared away by Pinker. Now Stingrays attacking with Egan Brown. She hasn't given up on the cause and found some space on the far side. Ball into middle. It doesn't go all the way to Badger, although Thompson had to hurry. I think, that was Thompson. And then Le Monde disrupted there by Hijazi. Now Kirby. And Thompson wins the throw off Middleton. Which I did write out interesting Sapphire Cup games. I probably don't have time to go through all of them. You know, if you heard my commentary from last year, I really don't need a second invitation to talk about the Sapphire Cup. But the game's over, so I probably shouldn't run through all the fixtures. But what's interesting? Anyway, we probably should look at this Lucy Badger run first, and she does get the ball over to the other side with Lana El Cordy, who's doubled up on. El Cordy keeps the ball, but they're facing away from the goal, needing some support. Now she'll settle for the throw. Now, into the box, and can't get it all the way through. Callahan claims the ball. Interesting Sapphire Cup games. Yes, our friends at the Flying Bats had a long away trip on Tuesday, the 7th, away to St Mary's Eaglevale of the MacArthur Association. And round 3 games. Let's see what's got NPL interest. Well, University of New South Wales, they're away to Moorebank Sports on Thursday the 23rd. As we're into the final minute of the 90. And Badger stealing in there, but not for long. Really interesting game. This has been posted on socials, but not confirmed on Dribble yet. They'll go back to that as it's 2-on-5 for Sydney Uni, but Hijazi, she's going to try from range, saved by Roche. But anyway, we think it's going to be a fascinating game, Sapphire Cup game, on Thursday, the 16th of April at Lambert Park between RPL Leichhardt and Gladesville Ravens. Other NPL teams involved in Sapphire Cup action. Northern Tigers again hosting Western City Rangers. as Isabella Rard will run to the edge of the box and shoot, and it's in! Oh, the way in! Isabella Rard has made it 6 for Sydney Uni. Took it to about 25 yards out and has found the precision finish into the bottom corner. Past the keeper's despairing dive, and this is a great night for Sydney Uni. They had scored 7 goals in the opening 4 games of the season, and they'll be delighted to have scored 6 this evening. On the PA, they're going to play all fired up one more time. Well, if this doesn't get a Sydney Uni supporter fired up, a 6-2 scoreline, not sure what will. As that surely is a handball. So even I could see that one. And by the way, it's actually, I've just got to make sure, did start the stopwatch at the second half, so about 60 seconds in the time added on. So, other Sapphire Cup round 3 games involving NPL teams. Sydney Olympic are at home to Lane Cove FC of Northern Suburbs Association. Manly United will host San Souci of the St George Association. What else is there? MacArthur Rams host Bankshire Tigers of the St George Association. Spirit will host Central Coast Mariners of League One Women's. And I think that covers all of them. I think. Now, Le Mans and Sandbrook will get it away from the Uni penalty area. Jurich with the foot in there. Sutton now looping it over, and Hijazi. Now there's the final whistle. It's been a great day for Sydney University. They defeated Illawarra Stingrays by 6 goals to 2, 3 goals in each half, and a stirring performance, possibly to kickstart their season. Their second win in the opening 5 rounds. Poppy Tay will grab all the headlines with a hat-trick. And Sydney Uni's other goal scorers were Emily Brewster, Asha Sutton and Isabella Rudd. For Illawarra Stingrays, they battled hard and got goals courtesy of Ruby Egan Brown and Lana El Cordy, but it was not to be for the team in pink. Next up for these two teams, Illawarra Stingrays are at home to Bulls FC Academy, Sunday 12th of April, 5 p.m, while I'll have the commentary for Sydney University's next game, which is Sunday 12th of April, 5:30 p.m. at Valentine Sports Park. Sydney Uni take on Hills United, a rematch of the Sapphire Cup quarterfinal.